Welcome to Goodnight, Goodkind. I am your host, Mike Goodkind. Here's the deal. I know the show is not at night, but it is your job as the viewer to watch the show at night and your night on a good note. Tonight on the show, John Crotty of the Miami Heat joining us. We will break down the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow night. Lakers, Heat. It's going to be a good time. Check it out. Exciting. We got John Crotty joining us live with us right now via Zoom. John, how you doing?
Good, Mike. How you doing, man? Good to be on the program.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you coming on. This is exciting. We finally got some relevance going on, so this is cool. Coming to you from Miami. John, are you in Miami as well right now, by the way?
I am. Of course. I think you might be in a better location than me right now. It looks pretty nice where you're at.
I'm sweating bullets, man. I am sweating bullets out here. Heat are back in the finals for the sixth time since 2006. So 6 times the last 15 seasons. That's more than any other NBA team. What does that say about this organization from the top down?
I think it's really impressive. To your point, this team has surprised so many people, including a lot of us who've been with the team, throughout the course of the season. I think what's really impressed me is just how much they've improved. Some of the individual performances by players. And I think, the Heat and the organization, it speaks huge milestones to, what they've done over the years in terms of building on the organization, from leadership with the Arison family to leadership on the management side from Pat Riley and obviously the coaching staff with Coach Spo and the talented assistant coaching staff he has. They've just done such a good job of maximizing this group. And really, to me, this team, more than any other, improved during the downtime and during COVID. We've seen some guys individually improve, and as they came back for the reseeding games and into the playoffs, they've come together, and the chemistry is so real, and the unselfishness and purity of the way they're playing has just carried them through an incredible run to only lose 3 games on their way here to the finals.
You said it. Eric Spoelstra, obviously, this is a guy that's been with the team, starting from the film room on. Is this a guy that obviously he didn't win the regular season Coach of the Year, but just postseason wise, this guy's got to be Coach of the Year, judging on what's happened the last few months.
Yeah, look, I think he doesn't always get the national attention he deserves. I think we understand that, the basketball people, maybe in the industry, but when you have a lot of knowledge they had during the Big Three era, if you will, I think people, the expectations are you're supposed to win. But on numerous occasions, he's stepped up and really, I think, gotten the most out of the group that he's had. And it hasn't always been a star-studded group. This group is, while it has 2 All-Stars, they don't have anyone who's in the top 10 in terms of All-NBA. The Lakers have 2 guys in the top 5. So, he's done an amazing job of really getting everyone to buy in. To be the best that they can be individually within the team concept. And he's kept everybody accountable and kept them positive and achieving great things.
So pretty much throughout time, especially with the Heat, we've had faces in the NBA Finals. D-Wade, LeBron, D-Wade and Shaq. This NBA Finals with the Heat, there aren't really necessarily faces on this team. Again, it's a very good young core. Would you compare this to like a San Antonio Spurs team with Pop at the helm and having a Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili?
Yeah, I would agree. I think, again, the strength of this team is its balanced nature and its ability to play together with great chemistry. But, when you do get granular and you look at it, you got Jimmy Butler, who's the leading scorer and assist guy, and who's, just got a real toughness and a chip on his shoulder type guy who fits in very well to what the Heat are trying to do. You got Bam Adebayo, who's a rising third-year player, right, who became an all-star this year and is really changing the way a lot of the bigs are playing the game now. The way he handles the ball, pulls everybody away from the basket and makes plays at the top of the key area, and has been a big part of what Miami's been doing. You got Dragic, who was an all-star several years ago, who's performing at a high level. He's actually the leading scorer for the team now in the playoffs. And then you got guys like Tyler Hero as a young player coming in who's performing well beyond where anyone anticipated. And Duncan Robinson shooting the three. There's just a lot of guys contributing. And the other thing too, Mike, is I think, during the course of the trade that was made during the course of the season, bringing in Jay Crowder and, Andre Iguodala and being able to have Solomon Hill, those guys, particularly Crowder and Iguodala, are been so important to this team, the way they defend and what they can provide on the offensive end.
So like you said, John, Duncan Robinson, he's been unbelievable. Almost like a 3-and-D guy like Shane Battier, Mike Miller from those previous NBA Finals teams. But he and Tyler Hero have just been totally dark horses, come out of nowhere and had incredibly just impressive postseasons.
Yeah, I really like what those younger guys are doing because they provide such great enthusiasm, but also stretching the floor. The two guys you mentioned, they make shots out beyond the arc. In this game right now, when you can pull and use space to pull the defense away from the basket because of the three-point shot, it opens up the driving lanes. And then, the Heat have been one of the best and most accurate three-point percentage shooting teams in the league, one or two all throughout the regular season. So that's a big part of their success in the bubble as well, being able to knock down three-point shots and make teams have to come out and guard them. So Heat are going to need to do that against this Laker team just because of their length and the way they clog the paint with those big bodies and shot blockers. But I anticipate they will because it's just been a consistent, point of attack for Miami all season long.
How do you think LeBron is going to come out here? As a 35-year-old who is performing at a level that we have not quite ever seen in the NBA. I guess Jordan would be the best obvious comparison, but he wasn't 35 and doing this, or was he actually? But this is a guy who's 35. Is he as, in different ways, but as dominant as he was when he was on the Heat?
I think he is. I mean, I think I haven't seen a slowdown, which is amazing because it's not just how old he is; it's how many minutes he's played, how many games he's participated in. I mean, this is his 10th finals, which is just remarkable. There's only two other players in the history of the game who've done that: Bill Russell and Sam Jones. So, it speaks a lot to the fact that he's on his third team and he's able to bring another group there. And he's the only one, that's has any championship pedigree on either team, from a multiple standpoint. So I think he's going to the rim. Between him and Anthony Davis, they score more points at the rim or in the paint than anybody else. So a big part of what Miami's going to have to do to win this series is to clog that paint up, protect the basket, try to make the Lakers more perimeter oriented. I think we're going to probably see a lot of Heat 2-3 zone. We're going to see them throwing a lot of different looks at LeBron too, to try to slow him down where he can't get out in transition and make plays at the basket and rim and get to the free throw line.
John, the only or the lowest seed to ever win an NBA Finals were the 5-seed Rockets back in 94, 95. Would you compare this team to that 94, 95 championship team?
That seeding for them was very, misleading because they had a lot of injuries during the course of the season. So, they had their key people out, and so that's why they finished as low as they did from a seeding perspective. But they were as talented, they were a top 2-3 team in the league in terms of being talented. So not as surprising as what Miami's doing and how they're pulling it together. So, look, this Heat team, I think you have to be very proud as a Heat fan of what they've accomplished so far and the fact that, look, they're going to have a great chance to win a title again here, and no one has expected it.
And regardless of the outcome here coming up, what kind of moves do you think this team makes, come the offseason?
Yeah, hard to tell at this point. I think everyone's just absorbing and living in the moment. They're always looking to add and make the team better from a depth and talent perspective. I think what we've seen that's been really impressive is how well Miami's developed the young players that they have and maximize their skill sets. We've seen Bam grow to an all-star in 3 years. We've seen Tyler just in one season, advance to be one of the best players in the playoffs. We saw Kendrick Nunn come in unheralded and start. And I think, unfortunately, he's been a guy who just hasn't been able to get in a rhythm because he was in and out of the bubble. for a multitude of reasons. But, he's going to be back, and once he gets in the rhythm, I think will continue to be effective. And then Duncan and his three-point shooting. So a lot of development within, and they'll look and try to bring in, key people to add to that core group.
And what's the energy going to be like, John, when, right now we're looking forward to it. We don't know when it's going to happen, but when we have fans back in the building here in Miami, what's AAA going to be like to have, regardless, this is a team that was in the NBA Finals this season?
Okay, it's unfortunate we can't have the fans now because there's such a addition and brings so much energy and intensity to the home court, which is an amazing atmosphere if you've ever had a chance to do that in the playoffs in Miami. So that's unfortunate, but we are blessed, for what we do have right now with COVID going on. I think if you haven't bought your season tickets by now, you better get it done because they're almost sold out. And, we have such a nice core group to look forward to playing together over the next, 2-3 years. It's pretty exciting, the possibilities of what can happen here.
John, honestly, I don't even want to ask you who's going to win, but coming down to it, what's your prediction on how these finals will play out?
Yeah, I think right now everyone thinks the Lakers are going to win. From what I've seen with Miami, they've just continued to surprise and overwhelm everybody. I'm picking Miami, and I think they're going to do it because they're just a better team. They share the ball better. They work together on the defensive end. They've shown great resilience, and I think their depth is better from top to bottom than the Lakers.
John, I'm pumped, and we're starting tomorrow night game 1, and I'm excited to hear you on Fox Sports Florida dishing out your the post-game, the pre-game show, and I'm looking forward to having you in the booth next season as well. It's exciting.
You got it. Thanks for having me. No, excited to get it started.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Thank you, John.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And everyone, thank you so much for joining me here on Goodnight Goodkind. Please do not forget to subscribe. In fact, if you do subscribe, I may subscribe to your channel directly after. We'll see. But for right now, it's beautiful outside. I'm uncomfortable. I'm hot. I got my boy E. E, come over here. We're going to hit the beach. I'm going to be extremely uncomfortable, I think. Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we will. Okay. We'll see you next time, guys. Good show coming up.